against it. But at this time, I will call the regular meeting of the Perry City Council for December the 17th, 2019 to order. We do have a quorum. Item 3 is the invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. If you are able, I would ask that you stand for the invocation that's going to be presented by Councilmember King, and the Pledge of Allegiance is going to be presented by Councilmember Hunt. Sir, please.
Let us bow your spirit. Father God, we're so grateful and we're so thankful to live in the city that we come together. We want to thank you for bringing us down from January down to December. I pray now, Lord, that you continue to give us wisdom and direction as we move the city forward. We want to thank you for our administration, for staff, for our citizens, and we want to thank you and we praise you. We give you the glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 4 on our agenda this evening is recognitions and presentations. Item 4A is the recognition of the 2019 volunteer coaches. Mr. Swan.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Going into the holiday season, we thought it'd be appropriate to give thanks to our volunteer coaches. I read a quote that said that volunteers don't necessarily have the time, but they have the heart. And a lot of our coaches are actually performing their volunteer duties and coaching our basketball league. They're coaching basketball practice today. So if we have any coaches available or present today, if you would come up front. Yeah. All wonderful too. So
But you're a volunteer
come
too?
on, Mr. Crumbler.
You volunteer too? Yeah. You gotta do these extras.
So we would just thank y'all for your support and your participation. And just formally want to say thank you. And I know you might have some words, Mr. Mayor.
I do. I would like to say thank you very much to each and every one of you, because it's taking time out of your very busy schedule. And I know all of you have full-time jobs. I know one guy's got a really full-time job. You guys are giving to our community, and we can't thank you enough for doing that. You will have an impact long-term on the young lives that you're working with each and every day. We thank you for that. Council members?
Just want to say thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Ms. Monroe?
I just said thank you for the job that you do. It is very important. You will helping to shape the lives of these young people. And it goes a long, long way into the future. So thank you.
I couldn't coach my way out of the paper bag. Appreciate what you guys do.
I echo her thoughts as well. Thank you.
Mr. Hunt, anything? Okay, you have it. I know that we were talking over each other there. You guys not think, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
The world famous Mr. Alvin. And Bree. I'm sorry.
Thank you again. Item 4B is the introduction of firefighter recruit Jordan Chambers. Chief Parker?
Yes, Mayor and Council, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to take this chance tonight to introduce one of our newest firemen. Come on up, Jordan. You know, somebody asked me in town a couple of weeks ago, what are we doing hiring 8th graders? They're all old enough to be firefighters. But just a little bit about Jordan. He's our newest firefighter. He's 19 years old, and ladies, he's single. So
You gotta just get it out there.
he does live in Warner Robins, and he graduated from HOCO in 2019. Put that in perspective. He's always wanted to be a firefighter since he was little, which was last week. But he does like, when he's not on the job, he enjoys the outdoors, hanging out with his family, and doing sports and things like that. But he'll start recruit school at the Georgia Public Safety Training Center on January the 6th. So he'll be up there for 8 weeks, getting indoctrinated into the firefighting profession. And we look forward to him getting all his education there and then coming back and being able to be right in the workforce with the rest of them. So again, we want to welcome him aboard and thank him for coming to work for Perry.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Can I see your drop response?
Thank you very much for coming to work. Appreciate you. I'm good.
All right, good job. Thank you.
And bringing on great firefighters, and we really appreciate that. A point of personal privilege of the mayor, if I may, this evening. It's not on the agenda, but I do have an agenda item that I would like to ask Mr. Jackson, Councilmember Jackson, to join me down front. This is a very special evening for Mr. Jackson. William has served for at least 20 years in various and sundry jobs within the city. If I say jobs, they're volunteer jobs he's doing. And the last 10 years, he has served as an elected official with the city as a council member. And tonight is the last night that he'll be serving in that role. We're not letting him go from his normal volunteer work. We're going to find a number of boards and things for him to do, but he has elected to step down from the council, and we can't thank him enough for the years of service that he has given each and every week or every other week that we meet, and all the time that he spent in between there addressing issues that his constituents have brought forward to him. And he's worked very, very hard. William, I have a small presentation for you this evening. This is a small memento from the city of Perry. And it says, it's got the city of Perry with our logo where Georgia comes together. It's William Jackson in appreciation for outstanding service to the city of Perry, Georgia, January the 1st, 2010 through December the 31st, 2019. William, congratulations. You know, in addition to being a great member, you're a great friend.
I've enjoyed this, especially these 10 years. There's been challenges. There will be in anything you endeavor to do. But by and large, it's been great. I'm proud to see some of the things that have happened in Perry in the last 10 years. People have asked me what I'm the most proud of. I don't know, there are a lot of things. Downtown really stands out. What's transformed and what's happened in downtown. The growth is just skyrocketing. But a good type of growth. Sometimes it just becomes sprawl, and we try to work on that and make it be meaningful growth. Appreciate the support of everybody. It's been a great group to work with.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. I promise I would not break it before I gave it to you. Thank you very much. Our firefighter was only 8 years old when give you some perspective of how long 10 years is. Item 5 on our agenda, community partner update. So are there any community partners here this evening that would like to address council at this time? Thank you. Item 6 are citizens with input. Are there any citizens that would like to address council at this time? Thank you. Item 7 is a public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide any interested party with an opportunity to express their views and concerns in accordance with OCGA 36-66-4. This public hearing is now open. Item 7A is SUSE 96-2019. The applicant is William A. Stanford II for the Halo Group. They're requesting a special exception to allow 11 multifamily units. The property is located at 800 Main Street. Tax map number is 0P004001400. Mr. Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and members of council, this is a request for a special exception to convert the motor court portion of the New Perry Hotel into 11 multifamily dwelling units. The property is zoned C3, Central Business District, as are all of the surrounding properties. The properties surrounding are a mix of uses, including retail, office, parking, there's outdoor sales, motel, it's a motel on site, and adjacent motel. The applicant is proposing to convert the 17-room motor court into the 11 units, multifamily units, as I mentioned. 6 of the units will be one-bedroom apartments, and 5 will be studio apartments. No changes to the site are proposed, and no changes to the exterior of the building are proposed, other than shifting of doors and windows to align with the revised interior layout. In reviewing the criteria, there's the floor plan and the building elevations. In reviewing the standards for granting a special exception, the staff felt that this application does comply with those provisions. It meets the comprehensive plan and council's intent to see more housing in the central business district. Also the conversion from a transient use to a more permanent occupancy would be a stabilizing factor in the community. Both the planning commission and the staff recommended approval of this application. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have for me.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Council members, what questions do you have of Mr. Wood? None at this time. At this time, is there anyone here who would like to speak for this application? Yes, sir, would you stand and your name and address, please?
Sure, I'm Gary Martin. I live at 575 Holland Road, and I'm chairman of the board of the Halo Group. Just want to give a little bit more color to the presentation. First of all, thank you for considering this application. This is the first step that Halo Group acquired the property almost a little over a year ago, right at a year ago. And this is the first step in renovating the entire property. As you said, we want to take what is now a building that's not in use and is basically just deteriorating, turn into apartments, which will help revitalize the area and also provide people that can live close to downtown, help the businesses, and help with the revitalization of that. This will also help provide the Halo Group with some income to start with phase 2 of the project, which will be renovating the entire New Perry Hotel proper. We submitted our application for the tax credits and historic foundations, and we expect approval on that. And then we'll also be renovating and turning that into revitalizing the restaurant that's there, so that will be coming back. The top floor will be hotel rooms. The tavern we're gonna turn into a pastry and donut shop along with a gift shop. And then we'll also have on-site training, which is part of Halo's mission, to help those handicaps to become functioning members of society. But this is an important first step, and we appreciate it for your response.
Any questions?
I think in our discussions in pre-council, council did have one question relative to something we noted in the application, that there won't be, if we understood it correctly, full cooking on the site, and we just wanted to get some bit of clarification as to what that meant. I can order Domino's every other night, and I
No, the intent is to allow the residents of either the studios or the one bedroom to have facilities to cook. It will not have a full kitchen per se. These are small, what used to be hotel rooms. We're looking at what they call efficiency units. They'll be under the counter refrigerators, so you'll have a full kitchenette, if you will, that allows you to cook. It just won't be a full burner stove and nothing. But we have to be able to compete in the marketplace as well when we rent these apartments out. So they will have cooking ability for all folks.
Do you know now what the charge will be for one of those units?
We've talked about some rates, but we haven't fully solidified what those rates will be. Once again, we want to get capacity, and we'll do a market survey once we get done and figure out where to set the price points for the studio. But the intent is to make them affordable so that those who want to live near downtown and walk to what downtown Perry has to offer can do so.
What will the limit be on individuals in a unit?
There won't be a limit in terms of personnel necessarily, people, but of course, being a one-bedroom apartment,
A couple perhaps.
probably a couple is about the most that would want to live in an apartment like this, and of course, the studios would be more for the individuals and the single people.
But you're looking at these as market rate apartments, as I understand, as a revenue generator for future growth of your project.
Correct. I mean, that's the intent of the entire property, with the exception of basically half of the second floor, which would be exclusively used by Halo. It's to renovate the entire property to generate not only revenue for downtown area, but also help fund our mission.
Will these apartments be available to some of your clients as well?
Yes, they'll be available to clients, but they'll also be available to the public. There's not going to be necessarily preferential treatment for anybody. It's just whoever first come, first served.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak for this proposal? Your name
Angela
and address?
Cutie. Angela Cutie, 322 Georgia Highway 224, Perry, Georgia. And I just want to say, of course, I'm always here advocating for the same thing, that I fully support and stand for the mission and vision of Halo. Appreciate every one of your consideration, and want to make sure that you know that we're available for any questions or concerns or discussions you want to, might come up with any time in the future as well. But one thing I do want to make sure that we highlight is that this is open to the general public, and we do envision people who want to be in a downtown setting, have easy local traffic downtown, and patronize some of the new restaurants we have envisioning coming here, whether senior citizens or college students or some of our individuals as teammates, as we call them in Halo, who might want to, they're high functioning and just want to be able to live independently on their own, which they are capable of doing, which I think always, belies and supports the overall mission of Georgia, where everybody comes together and we all believe in one another and give them opportunities to choose what they want to do. So just thank you, I'm definitely for it, and we're here for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak for this application? Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to speak against this application? Thank you. Item 7B is SUSC 97-2019. The applicant is Dexter Davis. They're requesting a special exception to allow automobile service, window tinting, and automobile wash and detailing. The property is located at 626 General Courtney Hodges Boulevard. The tax map number is 0P0120 033-000. Mr. Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, this request is for a special exception for auto service and auto wash and detailing, as you've mentioned. The property is currently developed. It's primarily a paved space with a small building that's been used for a number of uses over the years. The property is zoned neighborhood mixed use district as part of the form-based code district that you applied to the Courtney Hodges corridor several years ago. Surrounding that, you also have properties along Courtney Hodges that are zoned neighborhood mixed use. They include a veterinary office, printing and retail, also some undeveloped property. There's also behind this property along Martin Luther King Jr. Drive is the form-based residential district, which includes single-family residences, and across Martin Luther King Jr. Drive is open space, and that includes the Rotary Centennial Park. In reviewing the application, staff raised some concerns in our staff report relating to this particular use on this site. First, we pointed out that the comprehensive plan, while not real specific on this area, did discuss the option of various cities being able to adopt design standards or further standards to help improve these in-town corridors as they're identified in the district. And then based on the fact that you all, council has adopted this form-based code, and the intent is to see redevelopment of this community in a more appropriate manner, it was our understanding that continuing the same type of land use was not appropriate along this corridor. So based on that, and we also looked at some concerns regarding issues relating to environmental impacts. This site was developed prior to any stormwater regulations, so the site does not retain or detain any stormwater. There are actually 3 storm drains, as you can see here, standing on the site looking towards Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Rotary Centennial Park in the background. There are 3 drains that are set up on this site, 2 of which drain essentially under the sidewalk onto the street gutter, and one, this one right here, which drains into a pipe that goes under the street into another drainage that goes over directly into Big Indian Creek. And so the concern here is that with on-site auto washing, you have the chemicals that are used in the detergents. For cleaning, you also have the oils and fluids that typically come from the vehicle that would then go directly into the storm drain and directly to Big Indian Creek. Since our staff report raising that concern, I was informed that our stormwater regulations will require for this use, if it is approved, to actually make stormwater improvements. Because this is a change of use from previous use, the stormwater requirements will be applicable here. And there's a memo that was presented to you addressing that. There are 4 potential options that the applicant can consider. Those options for outdoor washing and rinsing would include building a covered area, which would then have a drain tied to the sanitary sewer system. So that's a potential option. Another is to put in a filtration system in the storm drain that would filter those impurities before the water reaches Big Indian Creek. Another option is to put in a stormwater retention or stormwater pond on site. And then the fourth option is that the washing can occur off-site on a grassed area as appropriate. So whether the project is approved, if the project is approved, there will be requirements on the applicant to make changes to the stormwater aspect of the site. But given the concerns of relating to the comprehensive plan and the form-based code, the staff recommended denial of this request. At the planning commission hearing, the planning commission discussed the application with the applicant, and following that, the planning commission recommended approval of the application. And the chairman of the commission is here, Eric Edwards, and I'll let him present the findings of the planning commission. And then I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Want to let him address that now, or when speaking forward?
No, I think you should address it now, so you all, before you have any discussions here, both perspectives that came from staff and from.
Eric, I've got those.
Thank you. And if you will give us your name and address, I think most of us know that. For the record, please.
Thank you. My name is Eric Edwards. I live at 902 Washington Street. And I'm here tonight on behalf of the City of Perry's Planning Commission, for which I'm currently very honored to serve as chairperson this year. This matter came before our commission last month on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Davis. And based on our understanding, and I'll include that at the time, I had not heard anything about required changes that would need to be made to the stormwater, and I don't believe I had seen pictures of the current drainage system there on the lot at the time. I may have missed it. This is the first time seeing that tonight. But really, in talking with the applicant, Mr. Davis, last month, it became clear to us that while the application had even candidly me concerned a little bit at first, because it sounded like a car wash was going in here. What Mr. Davis relayed to us was really more along the lines of it being office space for what is a mobile car detailing and tinting business that he already runs and has been running, I believe, previously on Commerce Street here in town. And I've actually, since that meeting, have seen, Mr. Davis, one of your trucks over at the courthouse where I work, doing mobile detailing on a car over there. So it was really, shown to us that Mr. Davis' intent here with his business was mostly to use this building as more of office space and to do the occasional detailing work there, which he represented to us as far as washing would really only include washing off with baby shampoo after putting the tint on, and very rarely any kind of intensive washing of the exterior of cars at this location, which put aside my concerns about us putting in, a tidal wave-esque type thing right here in this corner of Courtney Hodges, which I do not believe would fit. But basically, to summarize, when speaking about the 9 standards for granting special exception and the findings that our commission made last month, number 1, does the special exception follow the existing land use pattern? The finding of the commission was that General Courtney Hodges corridor that's currently characterized by office, retail, multiple automobile service, visitor accommodation, and contractor uses. There are some residential uses, obviously, to the east and west, and then the park right there beside it to the north. We thought that just this proposed use was consistent with the existing pattern right there along Courtney Hodges, specifically with the, I think, a couple of discount tire businesses that are there along that corridor. And as long as there wasn't any kind of giant car washing operation on, we felt that did follow the existing land use pattern there, since it's going to be primarily office space. Number 2, will the special exception have an adverse effect on the comprehensive plan? our commission didn't feel that it did. It was our finding that, because this building is not gonna be like a commercial strip in the traditional sense, but is a standalone building that's operating as a number of different types of businesses with a single use, that we didn't think that it would have an adverse effect on the comprehensive plan as proposed to be used by Mr. Davis. Number 3, will adequate fire and police protection be available? The site's currently developed, and I believe there's never been any problems with fire and police protection as it's been used in the past, so we didn't think that was an issue at all. Number 4, will the proposed use be of such location, size, and character that is not detrimental to surrounding properties? Again, as it was relayed to us that it's mostly office space for what is a mobile tinting business where sometimes the occasional tinting may happen there on site. We didn't see any detriment to any of the surrounding properties, especially the commercial properties right there along Court Hodges. Number 5, will the use interfere with normal traffic, pedestrian or vehicular in the neighborhood? This one was the big concern of mine when I was worried that it was gonna be a big time car wash, was the effect on traffic there in the area. With what it was represented to us that this business or the use of this building for the business is intended to be, it didn't sound like Mr. Davis planned on having just a nonstop flow of cars in and out there that would be impeding traffic in any way. So that was not a concern for us at all. Number 6, will the use result in an increase in population density overtaxing public facilities? We thought that the proposed use should not result in any kind of increase in population density compared to what it's been before. Number 7, will the use create a health hazard or public nuisance? And this is the one that we, obviously, this is where the Big Indian Creek, stormwater runoff, all that comes in. And again, we didn't know about the necessary changes that would need to be made at the time that we considered this. We obviously understand those. And I don't know what plans, if any of the applicant would have regarding that. But as long as those changes are made, this didn't sound like the kind of thing based on the applicant's representations where the level of water and chemical runoff would be such that it would really be a concern for the city, because again, it was represented to us that it would be mostly office space for a mobile tinting business and washing business. Number 8, will property values in adjacent areas be adversely affected? We didn't see how the proposed use seemed to exist with the character of other businesses right there along Court and Hodges, so we did not find that it would adversely affect adjacent property values. And number 9, are there substantial reasons a permitted use cannot be used at this property? And frankly, in considering that, the conversation that our commission had mostly centered around the fact that since the oil lamp moved out of that building, none of the businesses that have been there have lasted all that long. There's been a number of different uses, restaurants, where the tile palm business was in there. And so nothing seemed to really last as long as Mr. Davis's business has already been in the city of Perry with his location over on Commerce Street. And so we felt that all evidence seemed to point that perhaps his type of business is better for that area than the businesses that come before it. So those were the findings of our commission. There was the unanimous vote by the quorum we had to recommend to y'all approval of Mr. Davis' application. I believe that's all the findings I've got. I'll be happy taking questions from y'all at whatever point y'all will ask questions.
What questions do you have for Mr. Edwards or Mr. Wood relative to this application?
Well, I'm confused. One, you're saying like an office, you're saying like an office building and occasional car wash, car tinting. But that's not what the application says,
Yes, ma'am.
when I read it.
And
So can you give me some more clarity?
yes, Councilwoman. And when we first read the application, I thought the same thing you did. This sounds like it's talking about a traditional car wash, and that's just not. Once we got into the conversation during our hearing and heard from the applicant himself, and then our commissioners asked questions of the applicant, that's just not at all what he was telling us that it was really going to be. He said that there will be some car washing taking place there, but that it's not primarily a car wash, that it's mostly office space because he operates a mobile tinting business. There would be some tinting, some detailing done there, but he, I believe, said that he foresaw that the majority of his business would still be taking place remotely. in other locations were called.
If I recall correctly, he discussed 7 to 10 vehicles per day.
That sounds right.
And I understood those to be 7 to 10 vehicles on site.
His business would seem to be a lot busier than that when it was up on Commerce, when it was up there, so.
And I do have additional photos here for these. There was some discussion regarding so there was some discussion about other types of car washes and how they're laid out, relating to in a building versus not in a building. And these are just some that are in the city. This one on Macon Road, this one on Main Street. This is one out at Circle K on the Parkway. This is at Lumpkins. The covered area here is an area that do car washing. This is one in Warner Robins, but we've recently approved something similar to this on the Parkway, where the washing obviously is done inside. There's outside area for vacuuming and other things. And then this next is yesterday at this particular location, the washing that was taking place here and some of the other vehicles that were on the site at the proposed location.
Any additional questions?
I'm gonna ask Mr. Davis, is he gonna have a car wash there, or is it gonna be an office space? Next day,
Do we want to wait and let him, if he wants to speak for and then ask the questions?
no,
Okay.
like I say, it's really for it's for an office space where my mobile unit, I have mobile units that goes out to different places, out of town, and that's what it is for. Then if I got customers and everything that comes there to that site, or just want to be inside the building or whatever and want their car washed out there, we wash a few cars out there also. That's generally basically about it. It's not a whole lot of washing, like the cars that he seen up there yesterday. Most of the cars is some of the guys that work with me, and I also got a car up there that I got that I'm gonna be selling after a while, because I did a little work to it and I don't need it anymore. I'm gonna sell it. But other than that, it don't be that many cars all full to wash. Most of both our work is be different places where we go in to wash. So we mostly be called out to go do detailing work.
You put a building so that you're gonna turn it into an office?
Well, it is an office. It's an office where they come in and sit down and, or you know, with my customers. It's very rarely a lot of customers that come there and sit down and they get their cars washed. Most time they be in and out of, you know, asking if they won't come and do their cars a certain call or whatever.
What other questions do you have? Is there anyone here that would like to speak for this application? Give us your name and address.
Hello, my name is Tina Davis. I'm Dexter's wife. I live at 151 on Church Road in Hopkinsville, Georgia. I really think it's a good thing, because I noticed that he showed a lot of pictures of different places where you go in and people get their car washed through that way, but a lot of people don't want their car washed like that. A lot of people want hands-on washing, and you know, where you can actually, they don't want to vacuum their own cars. Those are the type of customers that my husband get. That's why he goes to their homes of different various places. But to be able to have a place like that here in Perry is really good. You know, a lot of people know Mr. Lumpkin. A lot of people know my husband. But at the end of the day, the service that he gives, people really enjoy his service. He's thorough. He's very professional when it comes to doing his job, and he wants to make sure that his customers are happy. And as he was stating, there are the cars that come up to that shop. They're not our customers. They're not. In fact, that white truck in between that's my husband's detail truck, one of his trucks. That is a customer's car, and that's his red car. So, and I don't know who that other car is because I don't even recognize it, but I don't know if it's a customer or not. But I just feel that to have somebody to personally touch on your car and not a machine blowing on it really works. And my husband has been in business for over 20 years. And you know, his customers are very satisfied with his work. So to be able to just shut it down and say no more, you know, that's his livelihood. That's how I eat. That's how he eats. That's how we pay our bills. And you know, I am for that, because if he don't work, then what is he gonna do? And I just want to put that out there. It's not like he's out on the street doing illegal things. He's trying to work to make a living for his family. And I just really wish that you all would approve it. I mean, any necessities that he needs to make sure that the water flows somewhere else, that would be an easy fix. And as far as the oil, and I mean, of course, oil will drop out there in that parking lot. But at the end of the day, it's not so much where it's a big spill where it's gonna go into a drain. And that's what I have to say, and thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here that would like to speak for this application? Is there anyone here that would desire to speak against this application? Thank you. Item 7C is a petition for RZNE 0095-2019. The applicant is Genesis KC Development LLC. The request of rezoning property from R1 Single Family Residential District to IN Institutional District. The property is located on Keith Drive. The tax map number is OP 0440-03D000. Mr. Wood.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This request is, as you stated, to rezone a 1 acre portion of the property that is located on Keith Drive. It's currently zoned R1, and there is some R1 to the south and east. All of that is part of a cotton orchard. To the west is property zone multifamily and is undeveloped, and to the north is IN Institutional District, which includes medical offices. In reviewing the standards for considering a rezoning, staff felt that this did comply. As you can see here, to the north of the property are several existing medical facilities, medical offices. So this is a logical extension of those. The use proposed is for a medical dialysis center. And so the staff recommended approval of the request, and the planning commission also recommended approval of the request, as stated.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. What questions do you have for Mr. Wood relative to this application? Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to speak for this application? Yes, sir. Please stand and give us your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Heath Kennedy. I represent Genesis KC Development LLC. Would you like my personal address or the?
Whichever one.
Genesis is based in Denver, Colorado. It's 2016th Street. And I don't have a whole lot to add other than appreciate your consideration of this application. If you have any questions, obviously you can answer.
Any questions, Councilman? Thank you. Is there anyone else here that would like to speak for this application? Is there anyone here that would wish to speak against this application? Thank you. This hearing is now closed. Item 8 is a review of the minutes. 8A, council members, you have been provided the minutes of the December 2nd, 2019 work session, the December 3rd, 2019 pre-council meeting, and the December the 3rd, 2019 council meeting. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Is there any additions, is there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes as they have been presented? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please raise your right hand. The minutes were approved unanimously. Thank you. Item 9 is old business. 9A is ordinances for the second reading and adoption. Council members, this is the second reading of each one of these ordinances and will require a vote this evening. 9A1 is the second reading of an ordinance adopting the GMEBS restated defined benefits plan. Mrs. Newby.
Mayor and council, the ordinance before you is to adopt the Georgia Municipal Employees Benefit System Defined Benefit Retirement Plan that has been amended. It was presented to you previously on November 5th and was approved, but Georgia law requires that it be adopted as an ordinance, and that's why it was presented at your last meeting and is before you for consideration tonight.
Thank you. What questions do you have for Ms. Newby this evening? Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to address council relative to this ordinance? Thank you. Council members, at this time, this does require a vote. This does require a voice vote, and so I would entertain a motion to approve the ordinance as presented relative to the benefit, defined benefits plan.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. The ordinance is approved unanimously. Thank you. Item 9A2 is the second reading of an ordinance amending the FY 2019 operating budget. Mr. Gilmore.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and council, in your packet is a copy of the ordinance which establishes the final revenue and expenditure appropriations for fiscal year 2019. The state law requires that you need to pass this, and we recommend to you that you do so.
Thank you, Mr. Gilmore. Is there any questions of Mr. Gilmore relative to this ordinance reflecting the FY 2019 operating budget? Hearing none, at this time I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance as presented.
So, second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. The ordinance is approved unanimously. Thank you. Item 9A3 is the second reading of an ordinance amending the transient occupancy tax. Mr. Gilmore.
Thank you, Mayor and council. In your packet is a copy of an ordinance which will increase the hotel motel tax from its current 7% to 8%. This originally came as a request from the Perry Area Convention and Visitors Bureau Authority, requesting that the increase be made to help them fund some of their activities. That will keep us in the same competitive market as Warner Robins and Macon, who are our major competitors for hotel space, and we will recommend to you to adopt.
Is there anyone here in the audience who would like to address council relative to this ordinance? Hearing none, at this time I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance amending the transient occupancy tax.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Thank you. The ordinance was approved unanimously. Item 10 is any other old business. 10A is old business for the mayor. I do not have any old business from the council members. Ms. Bynum Grace? Mr. Jones?
Yes,
Mr. Albritton? Mr. Hunt? Mr. Jackson? Mr. King? Thank you. Any old business from the city attorney, Ms. Newby? Any old business from the city manager, Mr. Lee Gilmore?
No, sir.
Any old business from the assistant city manager, Robert Smith?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Item 11 is new business. 11A is matters referred from December the 16th, 2019 work session and the December 17th, 2019 pre-council meeting. Item 11A1 is a resolution establishing a moratorium on the issuance of any permits for the Conservation Subdivision District. Mr. Gilmore.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This follows up discussion you had at your work session yesterday relative to a concern that is ongoing about public safety and general services access on streets because of resident parking. This subdivision allows a reduction in the normal right-of-way from 27, I think it is, 26 feet to 40, or twice 40. And we recommend to you all to issue this moratorium so that the item safety issue can be addressed, and we'll get something back to you as soon as we can.
Thank you, Mr. Gilmore. What questions do you have relative to this resolution?
How long do you want this moratorium to last?
We recommend, at least as it stands right now, that we try and get back a better time frame, but right now it'd be until we were able at least to get it back from some idea when it would be going to the planning commission.
And how many landowners have we contacted and asked their opinion on this?
To the best of my knowledge, there have been no landowners that have been contacted relative to this proposed resolution.
What other questions do you have? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve this moratorium that has been suggested by staff.
I so move.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Please let the record note that Mr. Hunt voted in opposition to this resolution. Item 11B is a special exception application. This is the application we have just heard. This is 096-2019. That is the request from the Halo Group relative, make sure this is correct, it's 96-2019. This is a request from the Halo Group relative to a special exception allowing 11 multifamily units. Mr. Wood.
No further comments, unless you have any questions.
Any additional questions? Council, do you have enough information today to vote on this special exception? Everybody else. At this time, I'll entertain a motion of your preference relative to the special exception application 096-2019.
Mayor, I would move that we support planning and zoning's recommendation for adoption, subject to the units being self-sufficient for foreclosure.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please indicate, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 11C is a special exception application 097-2019. Mr. Wood?
Yes, this request is relating to the auto service and auto wash and detailing, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any additional questions? At this time, I will entertain a motion that outlines your desires relative to this site.
Mayor, I think we've heard a lot of information tonight from a lot of different perspectives. I would personally make a motion to table this until our next meeting in January the 7th.
We have a motion to table the vote on this to gain additional information relative to this site. Second. All in favor of tabling this until our January the 7th, 2020 meeting, please indicate by raising your right hand. Thank you. It has, is this, okay, this item will be revisited again on January the 7th, 2020. No action will be taken tonight. Thank you. Item 11D are ordinances for the first reading and introduction. This is the 11D1 is the first reading of an ordinance for the rezoning of property from R-1 Single Family Residential District to IN Institutional District. The property is located on Keith Drive, tax map number 0P044003D000. Council, this is the first reading of this, and there's no action required on the part of the council at this time. E is a resolution for introduction and adoption. 11E1 is a resolution adopting Mr. Mitchell Worthington as our new finance director. We have been looking at how we reorganize some of the functions within our organization, and one of the things we're doing is splitting some of the functions, and the proposal tonight is name Mr. Mitchell Worthington to our new finance director position. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve. So moved. There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. The resolution was approved unanimously. Congratulations, Mr. Worthington.
Thank you.
11F is considering accepting donation of a property for green space purposes. Mr. Gilmore?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and council, the city has been approached about a property owner that is interested in donating approximately half an acre on Cater Circle over by Duncan Avenue for the purpose of green space, with the condition that it not have any building or construction on it. The parcel does have a sewer easement that runs through the center of it, and we would recommend to council to accept this donation subject to provision of clear title.
What questions do you have relative to this donation of property? Hearing none at this time, I'll entertain a motion that we accept the property as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. It was approved unanimously. Thank you. Item 12 is council member items. Ms. Feinberg?
I have none.
Mr. Jones? Dr. Albritton? Mr. Hunt?
I would like to say I'm disappointed in us not taking more time on this moratorium. We don't know very much.
Okay.
We just passed it, and we don't even know when it's gonna stop. We don't know what it contains. And I'm just disappointed that we voted to push it.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson? Mr. King?
No.
Mr. Gilmore? Anything this evening?
No, sir.
Mr. Smith?
No, sir.
Ms. Newby? Thank you. Item 13 is department heads and staff items. Ms. King?
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Wood, any additional tonight?
Nothing, no, sir.
Mr. Smith, anything from Public Works?
No, sir.
Mr. Worthing, anything from the Finance Department?
Just briefly, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you guys for trusting me, the opportunity to serve in the new role as finance director. Over the past year, I've truly enjoyed my time with the city and gained a lot of institutional knowledge. I think it'll be helpful, and I look forward to maintaining and improving upon the city's strong financial standing. So,
Thank you very much. We appreciate all that you do every day. Keep our money secure. Ms. Bryant?
Nothing tonight, sir, thank you.
Ms. Clark, I think I'm.
Am I next? Yes, sir. Just as we discussed in pre-council, I wanted to let the public know that we are extending our social media reach, and we launched our Twitter account for the city. It's been posted on Facebook as well as our Instagram account. It's at City of Perry GA, and we're very excited for the new channel to open up our communications even further with our public.
Good, thank you. Ms. Warren, anything from the city clerk's office?
Nothing this evening, sir.
Mr. McMurray, any additional information?
Nothing tonight.
Ms. Turpin?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Wanted to take this opportunity to remind you all that our final special event for the year is coming up in exactly 2 weeks. That is the Perry Budget Drop. It is the 7th annual event. It is free. It starts at 7 p.m. downtown, and the party goes through past midnight. So we invite everybody to come down. It is family friendly. There's a kiddie countdown at 8 o'clock, so we invite you to bring out your families, and then stay afterwards to celebrate the true New Year's at midnight. And then also I wanted to share with everybody, I'm sure all of you have been approached at some point over the last year or two about how do we get involved in City of Perry events. We want to host a food trailer, we want to bring beverages, we want to buy a food truck, something along those lines, or we have a food truck business and we want to get involved. It's been extremely in demand to participate in our events. So we are partnering with the Houston County Health Department to put on a free training for people who are either veteran food vendors and beverage vendors, or if they are just interested in getting started and want to learn more about what it entails to become a vendor with the City of Perry and Public Health Department for Houston County. So this free course is going to take place here in the council chambers on Friday, January 31st at 2 p.m. Space is limited. We request that you pre-register as soon as possible because we have put this information out to the public and space is filling up rather quick. And what it's going to entail is information from obviously the health department about what is needed to abide by their codes, what is needed from the city's end, and then also what is needed from our fire marshal's standards within the city. So it's going to be a really comprehensive free class. We encourage everybody that is either interested in getting involved or has been involved to come out and take part in that. And I have flyers, and then we also have flyers in the lobby, and there's information on our Facebook page as well.
So I have a question for you relative to the bus driver.
Yes.
Is there any age limit on the kiddie countdown?
We'll make some exceptions.
There's some of us that probably won't make it.
Can I be one of those people? I'm very concerned about staying up past midnight.
It does sound very exciting, and you have a great band, I understand.
Yes, we have Relapse, which hails themselves as Georgia's Party Band. It's a 10-piece full horn section, so we're really excited about it. We'll also have a DJ from 7 to 9, so the band starts at 9, but prior to that, we'll also have a DJ, so we're excited about it. And there will be food trucks, come downtown and eat. Some of the restaurants will be staying open, so just a fun time all around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I'm good, thank
Special
you.
events always got something.
This is the last one of the year. I've almost survived.
You do great work. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been a fun year. Mr. Swan?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor, Council. I did want to make an announcement. We are, Leisure Services planning an open house Saturday, January 4th. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., 12 noon. We're offering, well, the focus is to increase our programming. That's one of our goals in the upcoming years. So we have all of our instructors. They'll be lining the gymnasium, and it'll be an expo showcasing some of the upcoming opportunities that we're presenting. We have flight simulation for all ages. We have the Museum of Aviation. They'll be a partner of ours as well. So we'll have, I think we also have crafting classes and a Spanish tutor. So for those that want to learn Spanish and other languages. This incorporates into our Saturday series. So every Saturday morning from 9 to 12, we'll have an instructional class on how to start a business, an LLC, life skills, how to change a tire, and check your oil. So that'll kick us off January 4th, Saturday, January 4th, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds exciting.
Yes,
Sounds
sir.
like you're expanding the offering out there.
Yes, sir.
Chief Lynn, anything from the police department?
No, thank you, nothing nice, sir.
Chief Parker, Fire and Emergency
Nothing
Services?
nice, sir.
Ms. Harden?
Nothing tonight, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Did I get everybody on stage? I think I did. Thank you. Item 14 is general public items. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to address council at this time? Thank you. Item 15 are mayor items. I would remind you that our next meetings will be January the 6th for our work session in this room at 5 o'clock. On January the 7th, we'll have a pre-council meeting upstairs on the second floor at 5 o'clock. And our normal meeting here, our council meeting, will be at 6 o'clock on the 7th of January 2020. So we will be moving forward. All of our meetings are open to the public, and we would encourage your interest and participation in those meetings on our scheduled days. The buzzer drop's coming up. Encourage everybody to come out. That's gonna be a fun event. And we hope that, have you checked on the weather?
Oh, no.
We don't need that for you.
Not this early on, no.
And also, just from me and the council members here and the staff in Perry, we would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very safe and happy New Year. So, given that, if there's nothing else to come before us this evening, we will stand adjourned.